Hello, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another one of my tried and tested reviews. Now, sometimes trying to decide which items to review as part of this tried and tested series can be a little bit tricky, but on this particular occasion that is not the case. And that's because this is an item that I've used for many years, and not just in my outdoor life but also in my previous life as a chef. This was an item that came into play on a very, very regular basis. And that's because in both of those worlds, you need sharp tools. Now, for my bushcraft tools, my maurers, etc., that are over there, my sharpening item of choice is usually in this box, and it's my Japanese Waterstone. That I tend to use on a bench at home. In the field, well, I'm more likely to use one of these, a little sharpening board. And because I'm sharpening a Scandi grind knife most of the time, both of these are perfectly suited for that. So the Scandi grind is set up perfectly for working wood. It's also set up perfectly for a nice easy sharpening. Something that's a little more tricky to achieve consistently is when you're working with something like this. My German Army penknife or my little Spyderco Tenacious, and these are set up and they look ostensibly like flat grinds, but actually they have a secondary bevel, and that secondary bevel can be a little more tricky to sharpen, as can something like this. This is one of my cleavers from back when I was chefing. This, for working fast, needs to be very, very sharp indeed. And so it looks like a flat grind, but it has that secondary bevel. So I needed a good, reliable and quick way to sharpen up something like this, but also that could do these. So back in about 2003, I was looking for something I could use to sharpen both my professional knives that I use at work every day and my knives that I used in the outdoors, my Swiss Army knives, my folding knives, etc. And that was when Santa stepped in, and he very kindly, on Christmas, brought me this. In fact, to be more accurate, it wasn't Santa, it was my brother, and this was a Christmas present. And it's this, the Lansky Sharpening System. This is the diamond stone model that contains 4 different grade diamond stones, your clamp and your guide rods as well. So each of those items plays a part in sharpening your knives. This piece, the clamp, well, all we do is pop our knife blade into there, and it's got a little tiny stop line inside. Place it in, adjust the clamp, and it locks onto the blade. What we then have on both sides is this little set of holes, and each of those holes is set at a different angle for sharpening different types of knives. You then have different grade diamond stones, and they in turn have finger grooves on the top so you can get a good firm grip on it, and then at the end here you have a little small hole and a little retaining screw, and into that all we do is pop the little rods, the guide rods. You then tighten this up again, and there it is, and that is it, nearly good to go. So here we have our clamp, complete with these little holes, and by those holes are little numbers, and that tells you the angle that when you place the rods through that you will be sharpening your knife at, approximately. Slacken off this screw here, and that allows us to open up the front, and then we insert our knife blade into there. We then tighten it in place by locking that one down, and it clamps tight onto your blade. We then take the next part, and it's our little diamond stone with our guide rod, and all we do is place that through the chosen hole, and then holding it all together, all we do is work it backwards and forwards along the edge. Very, very simple and very, very effective system. And that is great, working like that. It does take a little bit of time, but you can make the process more efficient by getting hold of one of these. And this is the Lansky clamp. And all we do with this is lock this onto your bench, table, worktop, whatever you are using. And then that just simply sits on the top. That frees you up so you've got both hands to work with. Couple of strokes on the medium, and then over onto the fine diamond stone, and then a couple of strokes on the leather strop, and she's plenty sharp for me. As you can see, the system is very easy to use, it's very quick to use. The quality of the design and the materials, well, it stood the test of time. I say back in 2003 when I first got that set, it was all bright, shiny and new. Its performance hasn't gone down in any way whatsoever. It is a superb piece of kit. The basic system, which isn't the diamond stone one, you can get a set which I think includes, I think it's 4 sharpening stones on there, 4 rods, the box and the clamp, and that is, I think, it's sort of between 45 and 50 pounds. If you want to get the diamond stone version like I've got, they're round about 95 pounds. The one thing that I'm disappointed with it is that it didn't actually come with this. This was an extra I had to buy. That said, it does improve the performance even more. Without this, yes, it's usable, yes, it's still very good, but this just takes it up a mark. So, is it any good and would I recommend it? Well, yes, it is good. Is it worth the money? Well, I guess it comes down to what price you put on having sharp tools. As a chef, it meant I could do an awful lot of things very easily and very, very quickly, whether it was slicing off endless slices of meat, prepping vegetables, whatever. I needed sharp tools. The sharper they were, the quicker I could work. As a bushcrafter and an outdoor enthusiast, again, you need sharp tools. You get less accidents with sharp tools because you're using less force. So yes, it is worth the money. As I said, it's well put together, it's quality materials. I think it's outstanding and I would recommend it to you guys. So if you are looking for a sharpening system that is simple and you have a need for it, remember, it's not for your Scandi grinds. This is for your knives that have a secondary bevel. So if you're a Swiss Army user, or you've got a multi-tool, or you use some of the more expensive production knives where they've got that very fine secondary bevel on them, then yes, I would dish out the dosh and get yourself a Lansky Sharpening System. So there you go. If you enjoyed this video and you found it useful, then remember, hit that thumbs up button. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Remembering to hit that notifications bell so you know when there is new stuff coming up. Also, if you look in my description box down below, you'll find a couple of links. There's Instagram and Facebook. You can follow the links to those and follow me over there. You can also go over and have a look at my Patreon page. For those who want to get a little bit more involved with the channel, you also get benefits, exclusive how-to videos, as well as the heads up when I am selling stuff in my Etsy shop. Yes, the Greencraft shop. And again, there is a link in the description box down below. Head over there, you can get yourself a Greencraft patch. There is going to be a gear update coming very soon. The next few weeks, I've got quite a few different things going on. There's going to be some reruns on some popular items and potentially a couple of new things, but more about that later on. I think that's everything. I've been Neil, and until next time, stay safe.